Hello there, my name is Arafat, and this is the Voices podcast. Today, I'm recording a soul conversation, a soul podcast, and I want to talk to you about. I've sat down and I've done my simple analysis about the recent remarkable poverty decline that was announced by the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, where 1.5 million people were lifted, 5.5 million Rwandans were lifted from poverty. It's something worthy talking about, and it's something worthy, boasting about. For me, I was really, if these statistics are real, because many people start to say, Rwanda, we are used to Rwanda saying, giving wrong statistics without giving credible sources, without giving facts that maybe the statistics are wrong. And I tend to say, okay, maybe they have a reason to say that, but I don't see. If you tell me something without a tangible reason, without a fact, then I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So uh, we will have to discuss these statistics as they were released by the Statistics Institute. So, I mean, the survey shows that paint a compelling picture of progress. Over 1.5 million people lifted out of poverty since 2017. That's a period of 6 years. That's a big number. So, this is not just to me. This is not just statistics. It's more of it's a story of transformation, resilience, and a strategic development. But I want to discuss these points to make it clear to the person who did not understand what these statistics mean. So, number one, we will start with poverty decline from survival to stability. The research or the survey shows that Rwanda's overall poverty rate dropped from 39.8% in 2017 to 27.4% today. That is for today. It from 39.8% to 27.4%. And that is extreme poverty. Once a harsh reality for 11.3% of the population, now affected just 5.4%, So let's go for the analysis. This is a historical decline in poverty over a over 6 years span, particularly when we consider that these years included global challenges such as COVID-19 pandemic and regional economic volatility. Uh, I mean, this is a sign that really Rwanda works. This is a sign that Rwanda works. Imagine we've had a period of COVID-19 in between, because COVID-19 started late 2019, went on to 2021, and in the short period of time, after 6 years, Rwanda has managed to reduce 1.5 million people, lifting them from poverty, extreme poverty. This is something that we should be proud of. This is something we should be proud of. Most people out there keep saying that, we're poor, the country is poor, everyone is poor. But sincerely speaking, when you look outside here, when you look at the buildings coming up, when you look at the standards of living people are living now, let's speak the truth. People say rent has gone high, buying food has gone high. Yes, I agree, that's very true. But people still afford to buy food, and people still afford to what? To rent houses. So, that's an indication that you still don't earn the same money that you used to earn before. That means that there's been a raise on your salary or your earning. However, this does not take away the fact that even if your earnings increased, that you save more, because also the standards of living have increased. Rent has increased, buying food has increased, a lot of things have really increased. So you need to give that money, you spend that money for that. So that does not stop the fact that people have been lifted from poverty. There are people who are now earning more than what they used to earn. So those ones are going to be considered people who have been lifted from one level or position to another. So the scale of poverty reductions suggests that government policies, community programs, and infrastructure development are working in a sign effective national planning under NST1. So, number two is household access to electricity. From darkness to opportunity, electricity access has surged from 34.4% in 2017 to 72% in 2024. So I will read for you the analysis I put down. Electricity is more than just power. It's access to information, business opportunities, safety, and education. This rise signals significant rural electrification programs and increased investments in energy infrastructure, especially solar energy, in off-grid areas. It means children can study after sunset, entrepreneurs can operate longer hours, and families can store food and medicine safely. I mean, who is denying that electricity has been scaled up? I mean, if you're denying that, you don't live in Rwanda and you've not maybe visited rural areas of Rwanda. It is very, very rare to find a place where there's no electricity. At least, if you don't have electricity, you to blame. I mean, I'm not saying that electricity is 100% all over the country. There's some remote areas where they don't have it. But I mean, it's very difficult nowadays to go places where there are people, I mean, uh, where there's no electricity. The country has done its best. You know it very well that only 20 years ago, I mean, let me say 10 years ago, you could not have your kids read or do their homework in villages because they had to depend on traditional lamps. To have access to light. But these days, when you look at this, it has really changed. People have electricity in their homes, and there's this thing I love about Rwanda. There's this thing, serious. I mean, so many people criticize Rwanda on so many things, uh, but I've learned that most people who talk about it negatively, highly negatively, there are people who just decide, choose not to speak the truth, and people who are after or who are doing it for a purpose with a reason. I'm not saying that Rwanda is 100% clean, 100% everything perfect. There's a lot that might be going on and you don't like it. You will not like everything that happens in a country. And no, even at your home, you don't like everything taking place at your home. So how do you expect the whole country to do things that you like? It's hard. It's very difficult. But when you look at the electricity, I really love this country, man. I love this country so much. Uh, but of course, there are things that they do I don't like, that I would like to criticize, but it's not, they don't bother me. They don't have any effect on me. So I leave them to go on. But look, I have my neighbor. I have my neighbor. He told me that he uses only uh, 2,000 Rwandan francs to light his home and have his TV on for 30 days. 2,000. That is $1.5. You cannot find that anywhere around the world. You cannot. $1.5 to light your home for only $1.5 for a whole 30 days. So these are things me I base on to say that the country is really doing well. It's focusing more on its citizens, and we love that. People are given value. People, I mean, the taxes you pay returns to you indirectly. You can't say that, but they do. So on that of electricity, you can believe in many remote areas that we used to consider remote areas nowadays in the country, people can have their businesses running every day up to late hours of the day. People are doing business. You go to remote areas. I mean, there's a place called Nyagashanga. I don't know whether you know that. In Karanga's, I mean, in Karanga's sector, very far. I went there. I mean, I was surprised to see people were having electricity, all of them. I mean, I was very happy about that. So when they talk about this in their survey, I have no comment. 100%, it's true. So number three, uh, the survey talks about mobile phone and internet penetration, digital inclusion on the rise. Mobile phone ownership increased from 66.9% to 84.6%. And internet access grew from 17% to 30%. Wow, this is wonderful. So, all of you, you know what it means to have access to a phone, access to internet. I'm not saying that in remote areas people have, I mean, full access to the internet like in urban areas, but at least the internet they have is enough for them to text a message, to use softwares in their phones. I mean, to for those who have a reason to use the phones, at least you can have it. You can be able to charge your phone because you have electricity. You can be able to buy internet because you have access to shops that sell that, or maybe you can even own a phone, a smartphone, because you're sure you will be able to charge it. Literacy. I mean, people are now aware. People have studied. Their kids have studied. And there's adult education still. People have now access to all of these things. And you can't deny that having access to the phone is very key. It is very key. You can call your child in Kigali or in any other urban area and have a conversation with them. You can as well, I mean, do business. You can as well do business on phone. You see? So these are things that you're not going to deny. And for those people who are saying, they're lying. I mean, who is not seeing that? Who is not seeing that the access to the phones, access to the internet has been increased? And let me take this opportunity to speak to the communication companies, MTN, Airtel, and yes, MTN and Airtel. You know, I don't know why you tend not to give much attention to the villagers, people in remote areas, to give them internet. I mean, these people can give you more money because they're eager to use their phones, so they're eager to use the internet. However much in town, of course, it's like an obligation to use internet. People need to do a lot of things with the internet. But you should consider these people because these people now have phones. You go to places and you find that people to access your internet, I mean, they have the internet on their phones, but to be able to load what they want to load using internet, they have to go distances. I mean, they have to, they know spots. They need to find a spot where to, I mean, use the phone from. So that's a challenge that maybe you can as well work on. So it shouldn't stop only on telling people that, you can access internet, but it should be a quality one. It should be quality internet, good internet that people can really use and do a lot of things. So more Rwandans are now part of the digital economy, whether it's through mobile money, online learning, or small digital businesses. So, number four about the survey is the broader implication. I mean, I want to talk about the broader implication, the pride and policy. For a country often cited as a model of post-conflict recovery, this data does more than just validate policies, it changes the perception of what's possible. Now let's see for Rwanda. For Rwandans, the numbers foster national pride and validate the sacrifices made in pursuing long-term development goals. They also reinforce hope, the sense that government efforts are working and that more people are gaining access to basic rights and opportunities. And let's look for policymakers and development partners. This is evidence-based justification for scaling up investment in inclusive growth programs. It will likely attract foreign investment, knowing that Rwanda has rapidly improved consumer base. Of course, who loves to invest in a failing business? No one. No one. So now donors can see that their investment is working. And now investors can see that, of course, they need to come and invest here because the consumer base has increased. I mean, now uh, the consumption of 10 years ago is not the same consumption of today. So these surveys are really very important because they inform, they indicate, and then they call for investors to come, for donors to see where their money goes. So I'm very proud of this, and I mean, people should know that Rwanda works. We should stop things of complaining. What are you doing? Before you complain, what have you done? What have you done? Play a role. So, I mean, Vision 2050 in focus, building the middle income future. I mean, these results are not an end, but a stepping stone towards Vision 2050, Rwanda's long-term goal to become an upper middle income country. What's ahead? With poverty dropping and access to essential service rising, Rwanda is poised for a skyrocketing of living standards. I mean, this is what it indicates. Poverty reduction means that we are headed to a skyrocketing standards of living. I mean, we are likely to see a growing middle class, more urban migration, higher school enrollment, and even better health outcomes. But it will also require new strategies to manage urbanization, job creation, and youth engagement, especially in tech and innovation. So I put this down because I wanted to inform the policymakers. When you say that, poverty has been reduced to, I mean, 1.5 people have been lifted from poverty, it means that the standards of living are increasing. It means that people are having access to money, access to jobs, employment, doing well. So this means that the standards of living today are likely going to double. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but they're likely going to be high. And when they become high, what I mean, we are required to work hard. We are required to find new strategies to be able to cope up with the growing standards of living. Let me speak to someone who maybe 5 years ago was renting a residential house of $200. If you're renting a house of $200, today you're likely going to rent a house, $300 or more. So you are required to find or to have in place some strategies that are going to help you have an addition of $100 to your income so that you can be able to pay for this rent. Because you're paying $200 in 5 years, and now because standards of living have increased and people have more access to money, then the price is also going to increase. And the dollar is also increasing against our local currency. So you will need to find options to find another income where you can get $100 and add it, top up on the rent. If you don't do that, you're going to be left behind. And when you're left behind, you get out of the city. And when you get out of the city, you go to maybe urban areas, uh, and that means a slide back in your development. Of course, no one wants to go away from town. That's a notion. Everyone knows that. We don't want to go out of town. But how do you do that? What do? You should make sure that you don't go back. And then that's why you should know these statistics, you should know these surveys so that you plan ahead. Mhm. Uh, and we're likely going to see more urban migration, higher school enrollment, and even better health outcomes. I mean, who is not seeing higher levels of urbanization? Everywhere where we used to call villages, we are seeing apartments coming up, we are seeing big buildings coming up, we are seeing a lot of investment coming up. Last time, it's been 3 years, maybe after COVID-19, only 3 years, when I last visited Rwanda district in the eastern province. I was surprised to see that the industry zone of Rwanda is almost full. I mean, I last went there 3 years, was just, I think, 3 or 4 industries inside the site, but I was really shocked to see that it's almost full. About 50 industries already there. I mean, so many. I don't know how many they are, but when you look at the buildings, there's so many buildings, yet in 3 years there are only like 5 or 6 buildings. So that's an indication that a lot is happening. When you go to neighboring places in outskirts of the city, you see residentials are almost, finished. Go to Gahanga, just here. All sites, residential sites are almost full. I mean, go to Masaka. Wherever you go, constructions are coming up. What does that inform you? This means that a lot is happening and you need to go with where the country is going. And these surveys are the ones to inform us. Then, this will require a new strategy, of course, to manage urbanization, job creation, and youth engagement, especially in tech and innovation. This speaks to the government. You need to work upon this. You need to find more strategies to manage urbanization because a lot of people are going to continue coming to town, from villages to town, from villages to other urban cities, and the load is going to be serious. So, as I conclude, uh, these survey results are a powerful reminder that development is not theoretical, it's practical, measurable, and felt in people's homes. Rwanda is telling a unique story of what determined leadership, inclusive planning, and citizen participation. This is it. This is it. As I conclude, I want to talk to you about how we don't value what we have in our country here. I tend to meet quite a number of people who come from their countries to come and visit Rwanda or even do some business or come for conferences in this country. But it shocks me that when I talk to them, they show me things that I don't see. And when I take a second step to see them again, I realize that what they see is real. We never appreciate our cleanliness in our town, in our city, in Kigali, in other urban cities. We we just take it. We take it for granted. We say, it's supposed to be like that. My people, let me tell you. You reach a place. Maybe you're driving a car with someone from one of the African countries or out of Africa, and then asks you that, how do you manage to have the city clean like this? And at times you don't have answers because you're not informed about the policies, about how cleanliness is achieved, because you don't participate. There's no you don't have any participation in this. You don't have it. You don't have a role in this. So if you don't have a role in this, that's why you can't have what to say. You don't have what to tell. But the truth is, sincerely speaking, this country is clean, very clean. And this country works. The leadership is really very well. It does well. It does well. It does a very great job. That's why I tell people that if you're really having a privilege of paying taxes in this country, keep paying them. Pay them happily. And advise everyone to pay taxes because you can see where your taxes go. If you don't see that, then you're blind. You might not be blind by eyes, but blind inside. Because when you see, if you really do a thorough analysis and look at what is happening around the country and look at what is surrounding you, the security, the cleanliness, healthcare, those are the key sectors. And maybe let me talk about that. Healthcare, security is key. But look at how it is really working. So that's why I'm saying that we should really, as a country, we should play a role in every area where you are. Find something to do. Find something to do that can play a role in advancing, transforming, and seeing our country going from one step to another. That's what I had to say for today. And this research has really reopened my eyes. This survey from National Institute of Statistics has really opened more of my eyes to see. Now I can see really things they're talking about. Thank you so much for today. My name remains Arafat. See you next time.